Welcome to Night Owl Diary entry number 2225. Random thoughts. So today I want to talk about our favorite stuff. Of course, our favorite stuff that is superhero movies. Well, I'm joking, but you know, I I watched the newest Fantastic Four movie, which honestly I watched it last month, but only now I managed to, form my thoughts into something coherent, which I would like to share. And I just noticed that we get a new iteration of Fantastic Four each 10 years, 2005, 2015, and now 2025, and the next version when 2035. I'll be highly disappointed if they don't release another version in 2035. But this video is not about it. So you want to hear my opinion about the movie? It was mildly entertaining. It was certainly not a bad film. Quite on the contrary, I think it was a decent film, decent entertaining film with good acting, with pretty decent cinematography, especially space scenes. I especially like the scene when Sue Storm gave birth in space while they were trying to escape the Silver Surfer. I think it was very beautifully shot, and in general the film is emotional enough. But honestly, this film, its biggest problem is that it's just bland. It's just the safest superhero movie you can really think of. No drama, no conflicts, nothing controversial. Just the safest movie you can even think of, which makes this movie bland to my taste. But that's not what I want to talk about. It okay? It's a perfectly decent six and a half, maybe even 7 out of 10 film. Depends on my mood, honestly speaking. But I want to talk about the larger implications for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is dying. And yeah, it is dying because, one of the reasons it is dying, it's because it has absolutely no direction. And I understand that the next big villain was supposed to be Kang, and because Jonathan Majors turned to be a sexual abuser, it all got derailed. Marvel, Disney had to fire Jonathan Majors as soon as possible, and the Infinity Saga got completely derailed because everything was building up to the confrontation with him in the Kang Dynasty. But then the film got cancelled. Understandable, I would have fired Jonathan Majors too. I would not want one of my most prominent characters to be played by a sexual abuser. But the Jonathan Majors just completely derailed the entire MCU. So when the Disney had to quickly find a new villain, which is Doctor Doom. And honestly, their biggest issue right now is that they did not add Doctor Doom in any of their movies. Well, like after Fantastic Four, the next movie before Doomsday, if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be Spider-Man: A Brand New Day, which was supposed to be released after Doomsday, but they sensibly Disney moved Doomsday to the end of the year. So we have Spider-Man between Fantastic Four and Doomsday, and I don't think that we're gonna have Doomsday in Spider-Man. I really don't think it's gonna be more down to earth, street level film. Most likely it is gonna be. So most likely the Marvel is gonna have to introduce Doctor Doom in Doomsday movie. We should compare this to Thanos, which we saw at least two, probably more post-credit scenes with Thanos. We already knew who Thanos was, what was his motivation. We knew that eventually the Avengers were gonna face him, fight him to save the Earth universe. He Thanos alone was a minor character in Guardians of the Galaxy, so the whole saga was building up to the confrontation with him, and right now there is absolutely no build up for the confrontation with Doctor Doom in Doomsday. And I understand that probably for the most part the script for Fantastic Four was completed, at least the draft of it was finished before Majors got arrested. So this movie was not supposed to introduce Doctor Doom to the Marvel Universe, because Doctor Doom was not supposed to be in the Marvel Universe. At least the Doomsday was not supposed to happen. But then I think Marvel did a strategic mistake. They could have moved all their movies 1 year forward. I mean, they already did that. They pretty much cleaned 2024. They should have done the same with 2025. They should have rewrote their films. They should have included Doctor Doom as a prominent character in Fantastic Four, because Doctor Doom is really intertwined with Fantastic Four. In the comic books, he was the first Fantastic Four villain on screen in that ill-fated, infamous 2005 movie, which I really used to enjoy as a kid. The 2005 movie. Yeah, I really thought it was on par with like Spider-Man, but turns out it's not. Okay, so a quintessential villain to Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. The script should have been remade. Doctor Doom should have been introduced to the movie. He should have been a character in the film. We should have been introduced to his motivation, to what he wants, so that we knew before Doomsday what he wants and why he's such a threat. What's his motivation? That's what should have happened. Second, Galactus should have destroyed the Fantastic Four Earth. The Fantastic Four should have built some sort of portal in order to escape Galactus. Like the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts was absolutely great in my opinion, when they received that space signal and saw that the Fantastic Four interdimensional ship is coming. That's what was supposed to happen in Fantastic Four. Galactus wins in a very dramatic way, very dramatic, sorry for repeating that, very apocalyptic ending, the Galactus destroying the Earth and defeating our characters, which immediately raises the stake for the whole MCU. And then in the last attempt to survive, our team just hops on these spaceships and flies to the portal in order to escape and save themselves, and Doctor Doom somehow comes along with them to the main MCU universe where the main events take place. And at the end of the movie they should have arrived to our main universe. So by Doomsday we would have already had Fantastic Four in the main universe. We would have had Doctor Doom as an established character with his motivation. But Marvel did not do that. They absolutely had to. They had to I know that Marvel often rewrites, reshoots, redoes everything, re-CGIs everything to death, and that has been one of their problems. But this was actually the moment when reshooting was actually for the better. That was actually supposed to happen. But I will die on this hill, but Doctor Doom should have been a Fantastic Four character. We should have understood him before facing him in Doomsday, but now Doomsday is gonna have to introduce him, explain his motivation, explain why he looks exactly like Tony Stark, why. They should have... Now the movie has to do this. The movie has to, make all the characters Fantastic Four and the Avengers, Spider-Man, make them meet. I mean, it's not confirmed Peter Parker's gonna be in the film, but I think he will be. I mean, even Deadpool is gonna be in the movie. Marvel is trying to pull all their, cards that they have, because they understand that they need as much nostalgia as possible. So there will be Spider-Man and Deadpool and Fantastic Four, and it's gonna be a really weird mishmash. I don't know. The movie should be, I don't know, 4 hours in order to make all these characters interact in a harmonic way, and to introduce Doctor Doom, of course, and to have some sort of coherent confrontation between the characters. But unfortunately, I just don't think it's gonna happen. Yes, if they introduced Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four, that would have been a different situation, but now they just fumbled this opportunity. The Fantastic Four conceptual could have been an absolutely fantastic movie. Yes, that pun was absolutely intended. I mean, I immediately thought of so many interesting concepts and ideas for the film when I left the theater. I mean, this movie could have been so much more. The Galactus should have been huge, cosmic, terrifying, absolutely nightmarish. They could have shown how Galactus's universe, how it collapsed into itself, so Galactus had to escape, and after the Big Bang he appeared in our universe. There was so much room for imaginative, creative cinematography, but Disney just chose the most safest, blandest way to present this new team of characters, and we see the box office. The Fantastic Four is gonna gross $500 million, but that's not what Disney expected. They expected 700, 800, maybe some Disney executives even dreamed about $1 billion, but so yeah, unfortunately I don't have good expectations for Almost Said Endgame, for Doomsday, and yes, yeah, that's not really great. So thanks for listening to my random unscripted thoughts, and yeah, I think I'm better with the cap. So thanks for listening to my weird, sometimes strange unscripted thoughts that I convey with a strange, vaguely Eastern European accent. If you want more, then stay on this channel, and see ya. Bye.